We didn't get much time, but
Bob said he was waiting for another meeting. I think he disconnected us inadvertently.
yeah, Bob wasn't on the list. And when he left the meeting, he killed the whole meeting.
Oh, even though you were co-host? I
Yeah,
thought
even
that
though I
would have
was.
kept it going. I guess not.
All right, let's do a little show of hands. Anybody have any shares from that short time that we had in a breakout room?
Yeah, the only share I have
Well,
is
I just at
Go ahead, Marshall.
Kathy Mennel, we had a discussion. It was just extraordinary work with divorce and with child custody cases. I mean, she said if I got it correctly, it was doing 40 cases a month at once and been doing this for 40 years. So that's very impressive. A really kind of a critical field, but I mean, I mean, if any of you have dealt with divorce, child custody issues in the past, you know how important that is. So anyway, thank you for sharing, Kathy.
Thank you.
Kathy's a client of mine. Kathy's a rock star. We're gonna have a minute here for new people to introduce themselves. I have a shout out. I had a meeting with Eileen Dawson, and we got to know each
Yep.
other better. I don't know if you want to say anything about that, Eileen.
It was an awesome meeting. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Yeah, as a matter of fact, Joe, I just started talking to someone yesterday who's a fairly new business, and she was trying to figure out kind of like what should be my next steps. And it was just right after I had talked to you, and I said, "Listen, I talked to this guy that's in one of my groups yesterday. He really has the heart of a teacher." And I kind of told her a little bit about how you explain things to me in a very comprehensive way. It made a lot of sense what you do. I like the model of what you do. And so, yeah, I had a few minutes with Bob this morning and I said, what's that?
No, no, thanks, Kat. Thank you, Eileen.
I know we're kind of having like the audio visual thing. So
Yeah.
it's okay. We'll get there.
Yeah.
All right. Any other shares from the brief time we had? Bob, when you left the room, you killed the whole meeting.
Did I really?
yeah,
Did
Yeah,
it shut it all down?
yes.
yeah.
But we're
We like your
back.
comeback.
And I was co-host. Wow.
All
So I'm
right. So at this time, we got some new guests here. So let's start with Nina. Nina's another client of mine. When Nina came to me originally, she had like three jobs and she had three slave drivers. Is Nina back? There you are, Nina. Uh, and she started her own business and she was able to quit her jobs. Nina, why don't you do an introduction? Let people know who you are and what you're all about.
Okay. Hi guys. Nina. Nina B with Essentially for Me. And what we do is we kind of just get the essentials for both personal and business growth, and everything stems from gratitude. So on the business end, we will provide you with bookkeeping and light marketing, which is done with cards. We're bringing Happy Mail back. So that way businesses get to build on those relationships that they're starting out with. And then on the personal side, we help our business owners kind of de-stress from work with a little gratitude journaling and health and wellness and meditation and stuff like that. So we're here for small business owners. So anybody starting out and or having just life events, then we're here for you.
Nina,
Fantastic.
can you tell us a little bit what type of businesses you're working with, size, number of employees, a little bit of the type of clients you're looking for?
Sure. I don't see that Shell came back. What I was going to say, we were just talking about this, but basically, I'm trying to bridge the gap between the entrepreneurs that are just starting to then have them graduate to the big firms where they will need now the all-encompassing bookkeeping, CPA, strat, all that. So like 12 and under is usually our sweet spot for businesses, 12 employees and unders, or just a solopreneur that's starting out and just kind of needs that help because if they're not a bookkeeper, then they probably shouldn't be doing it either. And just with the cards too, just helping with the marketing and giving them their customers that lovey feel and so that they can, just connect a little bit better.
Great, thank you.
Fantastic. Yeah, again, Nina's a client of mine, and she's had some good success. Let's go. We got a few guests today, Frank, and then we'll go Kathy after Frank. Frank Budenbrock, and can you do a minute on yourself?
Absolutely. My name is Frank Budenbrock. I'm owner of a digital marketing agency. We're called Can You Find Me Now? We're a full service marketing agency. We do everything and anything that it takes to promote a business or product or service online. A lot of that includes website construction, development, content development for that website. Currently, we're doing a lot of Google ads and Facebook ads management for clients. So we do the keyword research for them, write the ads, set up the Google ads campaigns or Facebook ads campaigns. And then we help them develop some type of a lead magnet to be on a landing page. And then, of course, we help them develop the email follow-up, which is critical to really having a successful campaign. But we also do photography. We do videography for clients. We write articles. We write blogs. We do the social media for clients. Again, pretty much anything and everything it takes to market a business online. We are enjoying the embracing of AI. It's coming, whether you like it or not. And we're doing the best that we can to keep up with it. It's changing algorithmically, it almost seems, on a daily basis. But we're embracing that and using that tool for a lot of the processes that we have to do for our clients to speed things up and smooth things out. I'll put my information in the chat. If you'd like, give me a call and be happy to chat with you. One of the things Joe had recommended is something to get started. If you've got a Google Ads campaign running now, I'd be happy to do a free audit of that campaign. Normally, we charge $497, but I'd be happy to do that for you as a member of Joe's group and see if we can't find out why it's not performing the way that it should. Thank you.
Well, it's technically Bob's group, but I am hosting, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Frank. And you found out about this through my list. You got the invite a couple days ago.
Yes.
All right, Kathy Memel, you got a minute or so. Introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm Kathy Memel, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and a divorce and child custody mediator. And I spoke to Phil and who else did I speak to?
Roy.
And Roy.
Roy,
Yeah.
thank you. So when I got out of college, I went to go work for a family law attorney who taught me to be a paralegal. And so we sit in on every single meeting from beginning to end. So I got to hear the stories, but also hear the legal advice. And I saw how destructive the legal court system can be. And also, when my parents were going through a divorce, it was a nightmare. But I remember at 11 years old thinking, I'm going to study psychology and I'm going to help people stay out of the courtroom by mediating things and not getting so destructive. So I really like what I do. And one of the tools I use is the family tree. So if I was working with you, I go back 3 generations and we understand the family patterns of behavior that get passed on down through the generations. And we look at this from a position of understanding, not blame or criticism. So it really helps to understand. Once you understand how you got there, then you then have choice. But if you don't know, I mean, I've got a client right now. He's on his 4th marriage, same personality, same destructive behavior. And so, but we did his family tree. His mother was like that. His grandmother was like that. The whole family's like that. So no matter how, he's a scientist, no matter how smart somebody is, if you're not aware, you just keep repeating the same thing over and over again. So then you have, once you understand it, you have choice and can make a difference. So I like what I do.
Yeah, a lot of times in divorce, man and woman, marriage doesn't work out. The marriage fails, but that doesn't mean the kids have to fail. And
Yeah, but
Kathy
it's always the
continues to
man's
serve us,
fault.
and what's
It's
that?
what?
I said, yes,
Was
but
that
it's always
about?
the man's fault.
Sometimes it's not.
Yeah, sometimes it's not. So thanks, Kathy. Marilyn, and then Tony. I've never seen you here before, so we'll give you after Marilyn. Marilyn, introduce yourself. About a minute.
Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Marilyn Poppy. I'm from Layton, Utah, and I am a dream builder life coach. I work with ambitious women who have had a level of success, but they now feel unfulfilled in what they're currently doing, and they're ready to create the next dream or possibility that they feel is ready for their life.
Fantastic. Again, Marilyn's another one of my clients. Welcome. Team Joe is well supported, well represented today. Tony Tangaroni, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, he's muted.
Yeah, he's having some background noise issues.
Okay,
All right.
he can't
Well,
do live today. He can't do live today. He just put something in the chat to make background conflicts.
so we just did some new guest intros. So we're going to go into our next breakout room. And this is what is the priceless nature of what you do? This is a very powerful question. You know, a lot of times we state our price and we have hesitation. Oh, maybe I'm charging too much. Most people undercharge. I know in my business, people have a job, they hate their job, they want to start a business. What's the cost of doing business with you? What's the cost of not doing it? What's the cost of staying in the soul-sucking job? How do you even attach a price to that? It's priceless. Uh, I have a program. It's a premium program. It's 6 months. It's 10K, and I guarantee you'll make your money back and double it. If you don't, I keep working with you until you do. But price is the price. But what if I help you add an extra $5,000 in your business per month? Guess what? That's 50,000 a year over the next 10 years. That's 600,000. How do you attach a price? So as you go into your breakout room, I want you to share what's the priceless nature of what you do? What's the priceless nature of what you do? We'll
He,
reform the breakout
Joe,
rooms
hold me back for
here.
about 30 seconds before you throw me into a breakout room, please.
Uh,
Thank you.
I don't know I don't know exactly how to do that,
Okay,
but
never mind.
breakout room starting now.
All right, Joe, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so when you just gave your example, one of the things I would have included was the fact that 10,000, 5,000 a month to 50% return each month. Name an investment that gives you that kind of return.
Yeah, yeah. All kinds of ways to express it for sure.
All right, I'll see you after the breakout room. Thanks.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
It's enough for them to tick. It's enough for me to tick somebody off.
Is that Mahedi in the mycity.com?
Oops.
God.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's just the two of us in a breakout room in the main room.
Yeah, I guess it's automated to keep us there for
No,
the
no, no. What happened is Joe goes into one of the sessions himself, and because of that, he's not here in the main session. That's probably what happened.
probably.
Okay. So anyway, what do you do that's priceless that people it's just invaluable that if they don't use you, it has a cost to them.
Uh, well, let's see. I make things easy for them. I think it's because I'm saying this from experience. I sat with a client once for 3 hours, believe it or not, trying to help them with the website that they had with somebody else. And, and 3 hours later, they became frustrated. I became frustrated because what they wanted to do was not doable the way they expected. So I finally like gave up and I said, you know what? If we were on Wix, we could have done this in 20 minutes. And they said, what? How is that possible? So I showed them on my website and they just like thought like, this is crazy. This is too easy. And I said, yeah, it is. And then they said, okay, well, just move us over. And that's what I did. I moved them over, and now they're happy. And that happens, by the way, all the time because people on WordPress are like the prisoners of their, designer or company or whatever it is because they can't figure things on their own. Not with Wix. I mean, Wix is being used by Starbucks, Adidas, Nike, Virgin Air.
No, I'm familiar with Wix before they were bought by Oracle because I was in an Israeli investment club. We invested in them 20 years ago.
Yeah, and by
So I'm
the way,
familiar with Wix.
I'm a legend now.
You were a legend before, but you're just being recognized now. Joe, we were both in a breakout session earlier, so we tried coming back here. So you might put us with other people, and then you were in a breakout session. So that's how we ended up here.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
You learn about the priceless nature or get
I
to
so far
share
I've heard about the Wix that Sam's doing. In my case, it's the fact that we can relieve, if not eliminate, stress and anxiety at that moment people are dealing with it and the pain that goes along with it. So
it. A lot of times people carry pain for years.
I'm
And
referring to the fact that you're right, that too. But I'm referring to the fact that the time people have built up stress and anxiety. And once we reboot the brain only deals with the here and the now, not the past.
yeah, but if you're living in that pain and you don't deal with it, there's a
No,
cost to doing business with Moshe, but there's a cost to not doing business with Moshe.
yeah. Well, the other thing is once we get the brain open, if they have something in their subconscious, they can't control it from coming out. So they have to deal with it at that point. So that's a different kind of thing, but you're
All
right.
right, we're going to use the hand raising function. Welcome back, everyone. What did you learn about somebody else? So when you talk, you're not going to talk about yourself. You're going to talk about something you learned about somebody else. What's the priceless nature? What did you learn about somebody else's priceless nature?
Well, I can start that. I was talking with Phil Wolfstein, and as far as I'm concerned, his priceless nature is he always listens to whatever you have to say, and then he gives suggestions on what to do with what you're trying to do, and he takes it into a whole different level. The man is unbelievable. He just listens so well and contributes so well. You probably noticed how much he's contributed already to this meeting. But anyway, I just wanted to tell you about Phil in case you don't know.
He's a
Thank you,
regular
Roy.
contributor. He comes
Yeah,
up with the positives of people, and that's
Every time.
every time. Yep.
having a successful exit, Phil does exits, I know that. Having a successful exit where you make good money and you cash out and you can move on to the next phase of your life versus having a bad exit, or
Yeah.
no exit at all and being stuck in the business and selling it for a low price or no price at all. So, um, if you can help people make a profitable transition out of the business, I would say that's priceless.
Oh,
Anybody
definitely.
else want to
Thank,
share a priceless thing they learned
Gosh,
about somebody?
thank you so much for those kind words. I really appreciate that. And I got to say, maybe the value is that really is the gold in the business that I'm in. Is if I'm successful with what I do, is helping people to actually move through that very important life transition, move from one stage of their life into another, see a new buyer succeed and grow in the business, and see the owner and the seller move on into a new stage of their life, retirement, whatever. That's the gold in my business.
I'd
What
like
it is with you, I just figured it out. You're always looking for the positives.
Yes, he is.
That's the soul of
Sam, I
Phil.
see you.
I'd like to add something about Phil. You know, since him and I started doing business together, every time we talk, this gentleman is amazing because not only does he listen, but he just makes me think about my listening skills, which are horrible. But I mean, the guy is so patient. He listens to every word I say, and then he'll ask questions if it's not clear. And it's just amazing. I love people like that who are, like excellent listeners. And kudos to you, Phil.
Well, I'm
Let's see.
blushing. You
Phil
guys are thanks so
loves
much for
that.
the compliments.
You deserve it, Phil.
That's really nice. Thank you.
All right. Any other shares? All right. Well, let's go into we're gonna prepare here for the next breakout room. So this is a fun question, okay? What has been your greatest concert experience? This has nothing to do with business. This is about connecting and showing that you have a fun side. I remember one time I was at a coach's certification training in Salt Lake City, and there were four of us coaches in the car, and it was kind of boring. And I asked this question, and the whole car just lit up. What's been your greatest concert experience? One of the guys said, That's not a fair question. And I asked him why. He says, I used to be a roadie for the Doors.
Yeah.
Okay. But I was at a Grateful Dead concert. It was like a summer solstice. It was a drought, many, many weeks, months of, no rain. And the Grateful Dead, they performed I Need a Miracle. And then they did this thing called a Rolling Thunder, which is like a rain dance. And the band made it sprinkle over the crowd. A rainbow formed over the stage, and they encored with Knocking on Heaven's Door.
Whoa.
That that was and most people wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't believe it unless you was there. So as we go into our breakout rooms, we want you to share your greatest concert experience. Hey, I think you guys, some of you might even have a fun side. So let's recreate the rooms. We're gonna do 4 rooms, and let's go. Rock and roll.
He's number two. Are you joining me there?
All right, you're in 2. Hi, Nicey. Everybody will be coming back here in a moment. All right, everybody's got 60 seconds to. Nicey, I don't think I've met you before.
Yes, sir. I'm a new one.
Nice to meet you. Cheryl. Cheryl, do you like this new format?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I'm getting used to it. It's kind of
Well,
like the
last
CLA. What?
how it was before is, you everybody would share their minute or so, but the rest of the time we were all muzzled up. And so the breakout rooms give a lot more interaction.
Right, it does. It gives us a chance to meet him individually. That's great. Good job, Joe. All right, so we're in a breakout room right now, and then we have one more
Everybody's
after
coming
that.
back.
Or...
We're back.
All right, under the react button, there's a hand raising button. Hey, raise your hand. Did you learn something about some great concert experiences? Let's see. Let's see some hand raising. Hit the button that shows the hand raising. All right, Nina.
I thought it was interesting that Eileen was sharing about the spinners and something about the giant rubber band and him like performing with it. And I'm still trying to imagine that. I didn't even know like that could be a thing. So that sounds like a ton of fun.
I love it.
Fantastic. Any more shares? Hands raised.
Yeah, both Faizan and Halisi have both had some really good experiences with concerts, neither of which are ones that I went to or were part of. So it was good to hear other people's experiences.
Yes, we can live vicariously through other people's fun.
That's exactly right.
And to go to concerts in different parts of the world,
Yeah.
it's always exciting too. Very exciting.
Anyone else have a good share of a good concert experience? Your own?
Okay,
What
I'll
Go
throw one.
ahead, Bob.
So, and I mentioned in one of the breakout rooms, um, I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, and if everybody here has heard of the Jefferson Airplane, right?
Right.
Okay, I went to watch them at Fillmore Auditorium in San Francisco when they were a starter band. Um, it was standing room only. You'd look up at them, and they played this phenomenal music. I will never forget all that music to the day I die. Just great.
Bob, I saw Led Zeppelin at the Fillmore back in the day that I couldn't hear it. My ears were ringing for 3 days afterwards.
Yeah, I saw Jimi Hendrix in Chicago. Same thing. My ears were not the same.
Wow.
Probably still aren't the same.
Cauliflower ears. All right. Well, we're moving to another part of the meeting. We're incorporating the 7-minute spotlight. And today, by the way, if you would like to be on the 7-minute spotlight, you can send me a personal note. I'm going to put my email address in there, although send me an email if you want to be on the 7-minute spotlight. But today's 7-minute spotlight is Bob Friedenthal, and he's the founder and creator of the Mycity networking. He's been doing that a long time, but
Long
let's
time.
go ahead and give the floor to Bob, and let's go about 5 minutes, Bob, and you can do some Q&A after that.
Yeah, so I was a director of accounting for a publicly traded company. I fell in love with computers from all the frauds that the company that I worked for was having. and I cleaned them all up. And I cold turkey, I opened up my own computer company near uh, the pier in Redondo Beach, and to have the fortitude, the guts to go do something like that. I mean, I was putting out expenses and I didn't have any revenue. That makes it kind of difficult to survive. But I quickly turned it into revenue because of my enthusiasm. And I was very successful at it for many, many years. Now what I do, I'm a, I call myself a LinkedIn junkie. I help people with their LinkedIn. And we have some ideas in store of what we got to do. So, we have a two-step process. I'm about ready to add a third step that will have some bearing. Anybody have any questions?
Excuse me.
No, nothing? Okay. You want me to keep talking about myself?
Why don't you
You
tell us
know,
more,
I
why
got
don't
a
you tell us
shout
more about
out
what,
for Bob. Bob is running my LinkedIn. He's got a team of VAs that they reach out to people, they initiate conversations with people. It has turned into a little bit of business. I anticipate it's going to turn into more, but I would say there is a priceless nature of having someone else help me versus doing it all myself.
You know, I got a
You
I got a great, not to interrupt you, but I got a great question. How many of you are kind of feeling stuck in moving forward, vocation, fear?
yeah, I see a lot of see hands popping up.
Yeah, if you're not raising your hand, it's a mistake because we all tend to think in our own little world. And it's when you start asking questions of other people and their ideas, that's when you can springboard.
Yes.
Somebody was going to say something?
Yeah, Nina, I saw you had your hand up.
There we go. Yep. I had a question in regards to how this ties in with like because before like the whole thing ended, I think you had mycity.com referenced on your name, and I was just trying to connect the dots to how that ties in.
Okay, are you looking at the screen image?
Yeah,
There's something
now.
to
Yeah.
Zoom?
I think her question is, you do the LinkedIn stuff, but you also have the Mycity stuff. How do they tie together?
It's all combined. One of the things that we do is we collect data for our clients. So we're looking for the phone numbers, the city, state, zip code, whatever we can. So it makes it easier in your quest to communicate. Look, today you shouldn't use one form of marketing. You have to use it all. Does that make sense? You get it?
Absolutely.
Because things, different processes do different things, and your objective is to reach the specific people that you want to reach out to. Phil Wolfstein's a great example of that. He signed, how many years ago did you sign up as a client? 6, 8?
You're muted, Phil.
Mute. You're on mute, Phil.
Sorry, Bob. Sorry. Yeah, no, 6, 7 years or so, maybe I would guess.
Yeah, yeah. And the favorite story you tell is how you were representing a machine shop.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was sending out a message. It's like on LinkedIn, sending out a message to those. Bob's got, the day he's got access to my contacts on LinkedIn, and we've set up profiles for the type of clients that I'd like to go after, business owners, businesses that are doing so much in revenue a year, that sort of thing. So you got the parameters in there, and then he's sending out messages that if you're thinking about selling your business, if you'd like to know the value, things like that, simple messages. And timing is important. If you get your face and message in front of someone at the right time, then that can obviously result in business. Get on a client, get on board, and that's happened a number of times. The best one was had a business owner sell partnership where they got in an argument, and Bob liked me to tell the story, but they got in an argument, and he was on a Saturday morning, and he opened up his email and or got the message from me on LinkedIn, and saw the message, if you're thinking about selling your business, call, and with my contact information, he called me up and he says, are you, Phil Wilson, can you help me in selling the business? He said, sure. He says, well, I said, well, when can we talk? He says, right now. Well, he's in Orange County. I'm on the west side. So on Saturday morning, I ended up getting in the car and going down there and talking to him. And about a little over a year later, ended up selling that. It was $2.5 million deal with he and his partner weren't getting along and they needed to sell. And so we listed the business, market and sold it. But that all came from that message he happened to open it up and saw it right at that time and called, and then of course you have to act on it. I could have said, well, I'm busy today. It's a weekend. I'll see you on Monday morning. And then that deal might not happen. You got to act on it when it comes up. But that consistency and that messaging out there, it definitely works, but you have to be consistent with it, right?
Well, yeah, absolutely. And thank you for those comments, because it's because we were consistent in reaching out to this firm, all of a sudden it caught his attention and he did something. Right? Isn't that what happened, Phil?
Yeah.
That's
So-
beautiful.
Yeah.
So the work that Bob did on LinkedIn led to Phil as a client of Bob's, led to a $2.5 million deal. Pretty cool. All right, we need to keep this meeting going. Thank you, Bob. If you want to be on the 7-minute spotlight in a future meeting, please let me know. Reach out to me, and we'll make that happen. We got a few minutes left. We're gonna do one more question, but instead of going into breakout rooms, we're gonna use the hand raising function. I'm gonna post the question up here on the screen. And the question is, what common advice do you disagree with? What common advice do you disagree with? And couple examples. A lot of people say it takes money to make money. That's just not true. It doesn't take money to make money. It takes customers to make money. Another one, people say sales is a numbers game. No, no, no. Sales is not a numbers game. As a matter of fact, if you treat people like a number, you deserve all the sales you don't get. Okay? Sales is all about developing relationships. So that's our question. What common advice do you disagree with? And I see if you have a share, raise your hand. But Moshe's the only one with his hand up so far. But Moshe, what common advice do you disagree with?
The customer's always right. And the reason I say
I
that,
know they're not, are they?
no, they aren't, because they think they know what we do better than what we do.
The customer isn't always right, but we should always do right by the
No,
customer.
I agree. If that were part of the expression, then I would agree with you fully for that.
And people say talk is cheap. No, talk isn't cheap, but people cheapen talk. Thank you, Moshe. Farzan, you got to share. And again, if you have what common advice do you disagree with? Raise your hand if you have a contribution. Faizan. Go ahead.
So the common advice that I would disagree with is wait until you're ready. Because we are never ready. Never, it's never the right time.
So wait, are you saying then get started?
Absolutely. Take
Okay,
action.
perfect.
Get
Perfect.
started. Yeah.
Take action even if you're not ready.
Yes.
Yeah. Things will
All
always
right.
fall in line.
Not saying a lot of, Phil, okay, I see you're raising your hand. Your animal.
Yeah, I would say the one that comes to mind is if you build it, they will come. Yeah,
No,
not true.
it's not true.
Yeah. A big mistake is like demand-driven products and businesses are the ones I see as being most successful. If you build it, they will come. Yeah, not necessarily.
If they come and they pay, then you build it.
Yeah.
So, okay, let me ask a question. So we're dealing with a pretty spread out economy in all sorts of sectors and doing all sorts of things. If you were going to invest right now, where would it be?
For me, I would say invest in your own business, invest in your ability to get more customers to pay you more
That's a
money
good,
more often.
that's a good one.
There's something I talk about that nobody really talks about is there's two kinds of investment. There's internal investment and there's external investment. External investment is putting your money in somebody else's business and trusting they can do something better with it than you can. Internal investment is investing in your ability to generate more leads, get more sales. Uh, oh, I like what Cheryl says. I invest in people. Yeah, if you've got a team, invest in your team. Look, we got 2 minutes left. We are gonna end this promptly on time. But before we wrap up, what was most valuable? What was a valuable lesson you learned today, or what was most valuable or useful about your time here in this meeting today? Use your digital hand if possible. And we'll get some shares before we wrap this meeting up. No hands going up. Halisi, yes, go ahead.
The prompts, so that we're going into the groups with discussion and getting an understanding, getting a feel for people's thought processes and just how they just communicating with them. But it's not feeling like you have to go out and rush to get your who you are out, your about me out in 1 minute. So
Yeah, take two.
Are you finding you learn more about people by having them talk about other things?
other thing, yeah, the concert was great, right?
Yeah.
I know Roy likes rock and roll.
Fantastic. Cheryl.
Uh, I learned today you can still take time out for your family and get value from the meeting, even if it's the beginning and the end. So thank you.
Very good. Any other shares? What was most valuable or useful about our meeting today?
Are we sharing that now?
Yes.
I think it's the open lines of communication that's kind of opening up people for new opportunities. And I think we all get trapped. That's our biggest problem. We all trap ourselves. So let's get out of that trap and keep meeting with other people in these groups and ask some of the tough questions.
Well, hopefully some of the questions are fun. I think if we have a little more fun, we'll actually make a little more money. There seems to be a little correlation on that.
Amen.
Let's take one more share, or otherwise we'll wrap up. I do have another meeting I gotta fly off to, but is there any last final thoughts or shares before we wrap?
Joe, I
I want
think
to
you're
invite
right.
y'all
I think you're right about the
bring a friend
humor.
next week. Go ahead,
We take ourselves too seriously sometimes, and I do think that to be able to laugh, especially when it's tough subjects. Like Kathy, that's got to be an interesting one for you as you're amidst, these tough, divorces and child custody and stuff. Like, how do you have, a sense of humor? I'm sure it takes a lot of work.
That's
you're
so
muted,
true.
Kathy.
Kathy, you're muted.
Can't hear
My
you.
clients usually say something silly or funny, and that you just go with the laughter. You can't just be all serious and heavy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, everybody, we're over time. Thank you for coming. Invite some friends. I got like three
Hey,
or four.
Joe.
Go ahead, Phil.
Great meeting, everyone. Thanks so much.
Nice
Keep coming back and bring some friends. We'll see you
Thank
next
you,
week.
Joe. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Joe.
Joe.
Amen.